presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Sunforce.
The Rays have hit a bump in the road during their stay in Kansas City. The Royals taking the first two games of the series by a combined score of 16-2. Today, we expect nothing but heat as flame-throwing left-hander Matt Moore goes to the hill in the series finale. Rays baseball starts now on Sun Sports. This afternoon, we welcome you to Kansas City, Missouri. The weather is hot. The Rays are not. And this afternoon, in Game 3 of the series, they will try to turn that around as they conclude this road trip, the Rays and the Royals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis in just a few moments. Well, the Rays are trying to get home 4-5 off this road trip, and they will turn the pitching chores over to hard-throwing left-hander Matt Moore. And the last 5 times out, he has been very good dating back to the end of last month.
And if you go back there, Matt Moore at that point was 1-4 with an ERA over 5. Well, he has certainly hit his stride since then. Those last 5 starts throwing the ball very well, 3-1 record. That ERA mid-2s. How about the opponent's average below 180 at 179? And I hate to beat a dead horse, but it has been all about the fastball command. His stuff is so good that if he's able to drive that fastball down in the zone and command it to both sides with the curveball, the changeup, he can absolutely dominate.
Starting pitching matchup brought to you by your local Southern Ford dealers. Matt Moore, big swing and a miss guy for the Rays. Everett Tiford, just up from AAA, will make the start for the Kansas City Royals. Rays wrap this one up and head for home to open a 7-game homestand. When we come back, Todd Callis will give us an update on the Rays defense department. Back with more from Kansas City in a moment.
Missouri, the Rays wrap up 9 games in 9 days on this road trip, then home to Tropicana Field to kick off a 7-game homestand beginning tomorrow against the Tigers. We have talked about the Rays' defense throughout the course of the last few weeks, and the reason it's so glaring is when you compare the numbers this year for the Rays to what they did in 2011 and 2010. Unearned runs allowed. The Rays have already allowed more unearned runs this year, and remember, we're playing Game 75 of the season right now, than they did last year or the year before for the entire year. The Rays with 40 unearned runs. Now, the opponents have only allowed 20, so double the amount of runs the Rays have allowed unearned. And look at the discrepancy the previous 2 years. Last year, the opponents allowed 28 more unearned runs, and the year before, 25 more unearned runs. So the Rays are used to being on the other side of that equation. Today is a website Wednesday, so that means you can ask Dwayne and BA anything you like by emailing us at AskTheRays@Fox.com or tweeting us at SunSportsRays, hashtag AskTheRays. It will be about 95 or 96 on the first pitch, heading up close to 100 today. A warm day in Kansas City, Missouri, and we are ready for baseball. Dwayne and BA right around the corner.
By Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for great deals on the amazing lineup of Toyota vehicles. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Tires Plus. The plus is in everything we do. A hot one in Kansas City. The temperature currently 98 degrees, feels like 103, and the weatherman says it will top 100 degrees before this day is over. Hottest part of the day somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock. So in the later stages of this game, we get that high heat. Take a look at the Rays starting lineup. B.J. Upton leads it off again in center, followed by Carlos Pena, and then the DH is Jeff Keppinger. Brooks Conrad hits cleanup. Ben Zobrist in right field with Sean Rodriguez hitting sixth and playing second in front of Desmond Jennings. Jose Molina, the number 8 hitter, and Elliott Johnson ninth. We're set to play ball, and the first pitch of this game, presented by Pinch-A Penny, is too low. 1 ball and no strikes. B.J. Upton against the left-hander Tiefert. The Pitch is down.
Tiford has appeared in 3 games here with the Kansas City Royals this season. 1 start, 0-1 with a .573. Early command issues here right out of the gate. Be important for the Rays if this continues to show a lot of patience.
BJ looks at a strike. It's 3-1. BJ 0 for 4 last night out of the leadoff spot as Jennings was dropped down to 7th. First time he's hit that low in the order came last night. And BJ back up into the leadoff spot. Full count now to Upton, 3-2. Upton getting time granted by Tony Randazzo, who's calling the balls and strikes. And the pitch is skied into center. Bourgeois out there waiting, and he makes the catch for the out.
Now in the outfield, left to right, Alex Gordon, Jason Bourgeois, and Jeff Francoeur across the infield, third to first. Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Nestor Betancourt, and Eric Hosmer. Salvador Perez will be behind the plate. Defense just kind of slid in there, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Here's Carlos Pena.
Apparently anything goes today.
There's a strike. Pena had 198 with 10 home runs. Starts to go and checks. Kansas City employing the shift. Escobar, the shortstop, on the first base side of second base. And there's a strike, 1-2.
Tiford going with that slider here early against Carlos Pena. We saw last night how Bruce Chen was able to have success with that pitch off Carlos. And much like Bruce Chen, and in fact maybe even a little quicker, Everett Tiford working very quickly out there. Get the ball right back up on the mound and ready to throw.
Down and away. Tiford opened the season with Kansas City. Broke camp. He was the long man out of their bullpen. Made a couple of appearances and a start. And then he was optioned to Omaha on the 28th of April. Pitch is popped up right side. That's Escobar, the shortstop, halfway between first and second, making the catch on the shift. 2 outs here in the first. Now Jeff Keppinger. Keppinger serving as the designated hitter. And he continues to pick up hits since being reactivated. There's a strike.
And that's what Joe's looking to do here, try to jumpstart that offense a little bit. Jeff Keppinger's so good against lefties, and that 3-hole Brooks Conrad, who's been hot behind him.
Pitch is down. Keppinger against lefties, 2 more hits last night off Bruce Chen. He's hitting .435 against left-handed pitching this year. Two balls and a strike to count. Fouled back and out of play. 2-2. Tiford's number is interesting, and they're limited. Just 11 innings of big league competition this year. Ground ball off his glove. Betancourt with the pickup. He's going to have time, and he makes the play. The Rays are up and down 1-2-3. Bottom of the first coming. no score. Starting lineup, they have Alex Gordon leading off, followed by Yuniesky Betancourt and Mike Moustakas. The DH again is Billy Butler with Jeff Rancour in right, Eric Hosmer at first, Salvador Perez behind the plate, Jason Bourgeois in center field. Now Cedis Escobar is the shortstop. He hits ninth.
Now taking the mound this afternoon for the Tampa Bay Rays will be left-hander Matt Moore. 4-5 on the season. Made a strong comeback after a shaky start. That seems to be his MO. The summer, moving to the summer months, and it heats up. So does Matt. He'll look to continue that today and try to salvage this series with a win. Send the Rays back home on a 4-5 road trip.
Matt Moore set to go to work, and here is Gordon stepping in. First pitch from Matt is inside, a ball, no strikes. And there's a strike. It's 1-1. Ned Yost moved Gordon into the leadoff spot at the end of May, on the 27th of May. There's a tapper foul off his foot. The count is 1-2. And since then, since the end of May, his on-base percentage has been .440. He has taken to the leadoff spot. Not a big stolen base threat, but an extra base threat to begin with. 23 doubles. There's a ground ball foul. And he will work the count. You'll see a lot of pitches. He's in the top 10 in walks drawn, as well as the extra base hits. This one chopped out to Sean Rodriguez at second. Gordon is out of there.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Rays defense as it lines up in the outfield. Left to right, Desmond Jennings, B.J. Upton, and Ben Zobrist. Across the infield, third to first, Brooks Conrad, Elliott Johnson, Sean Rodriguez, and Carlos Pena. Jose Molina will be behind the plate.
Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. Swinging and missing. That's a strike. And a cut and a miss again at a mid-90s fastball. It's 0-2.
Well, if you're going to take big cuts like that against Matt Moore, you're going to swing through an awful lot of pitches, because his, especially for a team like the Royals who have not seen Matt, ball the way it jumps out of his hands. He'll take advantage of those long swings, be able to blow it by it, and you see they're coming in here.
And a swing and a miss one more time.
Well, that
hard
was
stuff.
And that was a great read by Matt Moore and Jose Molina, whoever it was, maybe both of them. But when you see that big, long swing by Betancourt, you say, you know what, then let's go in. Because with a swing that long, that's going to be the toughest pitch for him to handle, and he gets it.
Now Mike Moustakas, the left-handed hitting third baseman. He swings and sends a fly ball deep into right center field. Zobrist is looking up, and that ball is going to go. Home run on the first pitch. Moustakas hits his 13th home run of the year. And the Royals take the early lead.
Now, the one thing that Mike Moustakas obviously realizes here is left on left with Matt Moore, you're going to see a huge percentage of first pitch fastballs, and he got one there that was just left out over the plate, and he did not miss it. That's something these Royals hitters have done really this entire series, is take advantage of mistakes.
Billy Butler, and there's a strike to him. The Royals have been very pleased with Moustakas in that third spot. He's really developed in recent weeks. Fly ball headed toward right center field. That ball will be in there. One hop and through the wall. Butler's on his way to second with a stand-up double. So the Royals remain aggressive. They have been through the first two games of this series. And Butler picks up his 13th double.
Well, Billy Butler is a strong man, and he stayed back on that pitch very nicely and drove that ball out into right center. You see this ball's away from him, looked to be a changeup. He flips that ball out there, and it just kept traveling. Gets to the wall, he gets to second base.
Well, Jeff Francoeur is going to be the hitter. A ground ball and a strikeout, and then Moustakas hit the home run. The one thing that Moustakas had not done a lot of was hit against lefties, but there was no question about that contact he made against Matt Moore. And the pitch to Francoeur misses. One ball, no strikes. Cut and a miss. Trying to open early and be ready for the fastball, but pulled off. High fly ball into left field. Jennings will have to angle back toward the track for this one into left center, and he runs it down for the final out. A run on a couple of hits, a man left, 1-0 through one, Kansas City. Presented in high definition, brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Brooks Conrad, 32-year-old infielder, will lead off for the Rays. He's made quite an impression since coming over from Milwaukee. The first pitch is in there. That's a strike called, off-speed pitch from Everett Tiefert. Conrad, originally drafted by Houston back in 2001. 0-2. Tiefert going with the off-speed stuff here against him. One ball, two strikes.
Let's take a look at our scouting report on Brooks Conrad. Brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. If it's high, let it fly. That's the one thing that we've seen from him. He likes the ball up and out over the plate.
And he is out on strikes.
Well, and that's what he thought he was getting right there. He saw that changeup come out of the hand of Tiefert. That ball was up and away. That was a fastball swing right there. Trying to take a big rip at that pitch. Ball just sails off the plate. Tiefert picks up the strikeout and raw. I mean, this guy, you break down Brooks Conrad, he goes up there, does his thing, got no protection on the hands, no batting gloves. You don't see that anymore. Got the eye black going today, day game. Getting it done.
And Tiefert stayed with the off-speed stuff against him. First pitch now to Zobrist is down, a ball to no strikes.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we have learned here in the last week. Up fastball hitter. Another pretty good fastball hitter here.
And Zobrist takes the pitch for a strike. Yeah, George Brett, he was a guy who didn't wear batting gloves.
And you could describe him as raw.
2-1. And strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tiefert, 28 years old, out of Georgia. Spent a part of last year with Kansas City, made 26 appearances and 3 starts, was 2-1 with a .327 earned run average. Zobrist pops it up short right. Betancourt angles out. That ball's going to fall out of the reach of Betancourt and Hosmer. And into second base goes Zobrist. That's going to be a 2-base hit for Ben Zobrist. He wound up dropping it in among Francoeur, Betancourt, and Hosmer.
Well, maybe this will be something that can jumpstart this Rays offense. This should have been a pop-up out in shallow right center field. Everybody's kind of looking around at a different guy. Hosmer's headed out there. Betancourt, got the right fielder Francoeur coming in. Nobody's able to come up with it. And Ben Zobrist is out here in scoring position with just 1 out.
Well, let's see if Sean Rodriguez can get the run home here against the lefty. Sean overall hitting .216. Kansas City got a run in the first on the home run by Mike Moustakas. And the pitch outside to Sean. Out in front. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Everett Tiefert taking a page out of the playbook of Bruce Jenn as far as the changing of speeds, using that changeup, starting hitters off with breaking balls. Fastball's got a little bit more velocity. Same idea.
Now the count is 2-1. Well, the Rays have had a difficult time, to say the least, with men in scoring position in this series. 0 for 12. Kansas City 8 out of 16. That's why the Royals have outscored the Rays the way they have. A turn and a throw back to second. Back into Zobrist. Been trying to stay aggressive on the bases.
Absolutely, and that pickoff attempt, it was a good idea, but it took a lot of time. Watch Tiefert. They get him there. Kind of a step off. Everything took just a little bit too long. Ben Zobrist trying to time up Everett Tiefert. Think about going there. That's what you want to do. You know, a base stealer out there at second base, very important for a pitcher to keep him from moving. We saw that in the Washington series. If you're able to get a walking lead, stealing third base, very easy, and they're going to call a balk on Tiefert.
So that'll move Zobrist into third with one out. The count still 2-1 to Sean Rodriguez. So he created enough of a distraction out there to push the left-hander into a balk. Now 2-2 to Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, and you went from forcing Sean Rodriguez to have to get a base hit to drive Ben Zobrist in to where now he just wants to get something to the outfield. The Royals are going to move the infield in a little bit. They're at half depth now, and now coming all the way in with 2 strikes here, with Tiefert obviously going for a strikeout.
Two. And a block there by the young catcher. Perez, a nice job to prevent the wild pitch.
Yeah, but did you see right before that, as he called the pitch, he was telling Tiefert, I want this thing down. So he wants that pitch right down there by the dirt, has a lot of confidence in his ability to be able to block it, and also anticipating that pitch maybe being in the dirt. It was a great job.
3-2 to comebacker. Zobrist going to get caught between third and home. Throw to third and now to the plate, and he is out at the plate. And Danzo made sure before he made the call, looking in as Zobrist tried to get under Perez, but he's caught in the rundown.
Well, let's see this ball. As soon as it's hit, Ben Zobrist starts to go and then gets hung up in no man's land. Now he forces the throw back to Moustakas while he's able to start heading towards the plate, so the play's a lot closer than it should have been. See, if you're Tiefert right there, you want to run at Ben Zobrist and get him to commit back towards third. He gave that ball up a little bit too early, and Ben was almost able to sneak in.
So now with Rodriguez at first, Jennings takes a strike. So the Rays have the runner cut down, and that changes the situation. Rays, who've scored only 2 runs in this series. They came last night when they jumped off to a 2-0 lead and eventually dropped the game 8-2. That's a ball snapped out at first, and back in is Rodriguez. Hosmer trying to sell the play to Brian Gorman down there at first base on the toss from the catcher, Perez.
Well, and these Kansas City Royals are not going to concede anything, even a runner at first. Do not get lazy on them. The Rays had better have come to play today because they are trying everything. And we've seen that all series long, very aggressive.
A ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Royals, as we touched on last night, you know, they've had losing years in 16 of the last 17 seasons. They were 20 games under 500 last year, but they're on the verge of being a very good team, a team that will make some progress, certainly in the American League Central.
If they can upgrade the starting pitching rotation, they will be very dangerous with this young and up-and-coming lineup. The bullpen is a power bullpen. It's a very good bullpen, and they're even without Joakim Soria, who had Tommy John surgery, and it's still a solid 10.
Yeah, they have 4 pitchers who've undergone Tommy John surgery. 1 and 2, the count now to Jennings. And he is out on strikes. So the Rays get a double. Do not score. Bottom of the second coming. 1-0 Kansas City. Two, 1-0. Kansas City leading the Rays as they'll send Eric Hosmer to the plate to lead it off. And we'll take a look at today's Buick GMC Player Spotlight. Hosmer, the young first baseman, born in South Miami and the 3rd overall pick out of the 2008 draft. 3rd in the Rookie of the Year balloting a year ago. Hosmer at first base with good power to all fields. We've seen him hit the ball to left and left center. There's a strike call. 9 home runs on the year for Hosmer. He hit one out to left center here on Monday. Big cut, the foul ball. 0-2 the count. Salvador Perez will be next. Matt Moore to the plate. That ball is fastball up and in. 1-2. Reaching for that pitch out on strikes.
Well, when you could throw a breaking ball and get a hitter to be putting his backside into his own dugout and then reaching out with a swing, watch Hosmer. I mean, that's exactly that. That's the goal as a pitcher. You're talking about screwing up a hitter's timing, which is the name of the game in pitching. There you have it. Nasty pitch.
Pitch to Perez. Too high. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one. And a line drive out to short. Grabbed by Elliott Johnson. 2 up, 2 down, and let's check in with Todd right now.
All right, guys, it is Website Wednesday. Ask the announcers. David's first question of the day that we'll answer. Kyle Farnsworth, when's he going to return? The Rays said he looked good last night. A couple of strikeouts on cutters. Topped out at 96. He's pitching again today as the starter for the Durham Bulls. We could see him as early as this weekend against the Tigers. The guys, that leads us to our Ottaway text poll question of the day. When Kyle Farnsworth returns, who should be, most teams call them the closers, Well, we'll get to that next inning, guys.
All right, Rodriguez will take care of the ground ball off the bat of Bourgeois, who hustled his way down the line there and made it close at first. We're at the end of 2, 1-0 Kansas City.
Let's follow up on that text poll question because we started there and then we got to the end of the inning. Who should be the Rays? Well, people call them closers most of the places, but not here. Who should be the 9th inning guy when Kyle Farnsworth returns? TB1, Fernando Rodney. TB2, Kyle Farnsworth. TB3, they should split duties. Text your votes to 7979. Standard message and data rate supply. By the way, website Wednesday. Email the booth at AskTheRays@Fox.com or on Twitter at SunSportsRays, hashtag AskTheRays, guys.
All right, Todd, thank you. Jose Molina leads off and takes the first pitch too low. Breaking ball to start him. 1 ball, no strikes. A little tapper foul off the end of the bat. Rays are facing the left-hander Everett Teaford. In the few innings he's accumulated with the Royals this year, lefties have actually fared better to the tune of 318 versus 222 for right-handed hitters. Molina missed the changeup, and it's 1-2.
Got a pretty good feeling that that's a good reason why. That changeup against the right-handers, he doesn't throw it very often, if at all, to lefties. But to the righties, it's a big weapon, and you see why.
It's fouled into the seats up the right side. Holds the count at a ball, 2 strikes. Well, we seem to go through phases in baseball where the splitter was a big pitch, the cutter's a big pitch, and how many pitchers do we see now who are coming up with a great changeup? Which the Rays coming out of their system have a number of those. Ground ball, that's going to be a base hit up the middle as Molina hits first base with a single to lead off the third.
When you think about all of these other pitches, you think about the slider, you can pick up spin. Curveball mimics 4-seam spin, but there's a little hump in it. It's something that you can recognize. A split, they kind of tumble. You can pick up that spin, but a changeup, if thrown properly, looks exactly like a 4-seam fastball or a 2-seam. If you throw a 2-seam changeup, it completely mimics another pitch.
Elliott Johnson fouls it back. Strike 1.
It completely mimics another pitch, and yet at the same time, we've seen differences anywhere from 5-7 miles an hour till you go to Fernando Rodney, who's 15 to 17 miles an hour difference. So that's why it becomes so effective. If I can throw a pitch that's 90, and I can throw the same pitch, looks exactly the same to the hitter, and it's 78, well, my goodness, how effective can that be?
And Elliott's down on the count. 0-2, and yet some pitchers have a difficult time develop a changeup.
They're not easy to throw, and that's why there are a ton of different grips. You've got circle change. We've seen obviously you and I have gone back and forth on Alex Cobb because he's got like a split grip, and his is a split change. There are many. There's a 3-prong, tuck it back in your hand. I mean, Trevor Hoffman had a very interesting grip with his changeup.
And strike 3 call on the fastball, and that changeup speeds up the fastball as well, which is another reason it's a good idea to have one of those.
I had a conversation with Jeremy Hellickson about that, and this fastball right here in the outside corner, and his willingness. Most of the time, guys throw their changeups down and away from the hitter. And you've seen with Hellickson, we've seen it with James Shields, seen even some with Alex Cobb. They're more than willing to throw that changeup in, especially on a right-handed hitter.
Well, that's the interesting thing. So often you'll throw the changeup to the offhanded hitter,
right,
to what you are. You're talking about guys on the Rays staff. They're a right-hander. They're going to throw it to right-handed hitters and lefties.
But throwing it in, too. Yeah. That's the thing. If you throw that ball in, most of the time, if there's going to be 4-seam spin that's coming close to a hitter.
There's a little one-hopper to second as Betancourt steps on the bag and throws to first. So that completes the double play and the top half of the third. A hit, double play, and nobody left. 1-0 Kansas City. This season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Rays out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit RaysBaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. On to the bottom half of the third, Escobar, Gordon, and then Betancourt due to bat here against the Rays lefty Matt Moore. Following up on that changeup, it's amazing to see so many young pitchers as the Rays have. We'll see Moore throw the changeup. We see Hellickson, we see Cobb, and it's amazing to me. It would seem that there are other pitches that would be more difficult to master than the changeup. Escobar takes a pitch down. But it's not all physical, is it?
No. Some is going to be feel of the pitch, but I think sometimes the mental part plays into it, absolutely, because here's a pitch that the way that it's properly thrown is throwing it with the idea of I'm throwing a 4-seam fastball, and yet it's going to be 8, 10, 12 miles an hour slower. Not easy for a guy mentally to say, okay, I've got this grip, I'm going to throw this ball as hard as I can, and trust that it doesn't go that hard. That's why we talk about selling it with good arm speed. See the fastball here off Molina's mask, but that's why we talk about that, selling it with arm speed, because if you don't, it's a very ineffective pitch. And so, you remember when David Price.
Sure.
When he would throw that changeup, in the 82, 83 range, and you could pick up, his arm would slow down. It was like he was almost thinking, changeup, it's a slower pitch, I'm going to throw it slow.
1-1 pitch hit deep to left field off the bat of Escobar, and this one's going to get out of here. Escobar goes deep. Second home run of the day, given up by Matt Moore. Escobar hitting his second home run of the year, and it's 2-0 Kansas City.
And I believe that was last night's game where he went off the top of the wall out near dead center field. Escobar showing that he's got some leverage. Lanky, able to create some power here, and he got a ball right out over the plate that was elevated. Just put a nice swing on it, not to do too much. Trying to do, and
fastball at 94, and he turns it around, hits it out. Pitch to Alex Gordon as a strike. So a couple of solo home runs. 13 home runs given up by Matt Moore this year now. And the 2 today off the fastball. 2 strikes. Gordon fouls it away.
We've seen this Royal team really juice some balls here in this series, and coming in, they had the fewest home runs in the American League.
Foul out of play. Well, Escobar, as we touched on last night, a couple of years ago, was a big part of that Zach Greinke trade. And here this year, he has really started to fulfill the potential the Royals thought he had when they got him.
Well, let's start to think about, the last 3 days. What have we seen out of him? We've seen some power, the home run right there, the ball off the top of the wall and deep out by center field. We've seen some very good defense. He's very athletic. A great arm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That low flyer he threw in yesterday's game. And, oh, by the way, second on the team in stolen bases. He can run. Got it all covered.
He came over and hit .254 last year with 4 home runs. Came into this game hitting .307, and that's going to take care of Gordon. He did offer on the appeal. Larry Vanover down at third base says he's out of there.
Well, Gordon tries to keep the bat head back, but look at the hands. And he's just not able to.
Well, the Rays jumped out in front 2-0 last night. Kansas City jumping out in front 2-0 today. Yuniesky Betancourt. The pitch is a strike. Betancourt, the first strikeout of the day for Moore on a fastball at 95 in the first inning, and he just had his way with Betancourt. Pops him up this time. Sean Rodriguez takes care of that. 2 outs, 2 up, 2 down following the Escobar home run. Now, Mike Moustakas. Moustakas homered into right center field. He picked out the first pitch he saw and hit one out of the first.
That was it. Fastball trying to get to the outside corner. Didn't get there and ended up over the fence.
Two and nothing. Rays open a 7-game homestand tomorrow night at Tropicana Field. The Detroit Tigers are in for 4, and then the Yankees come calling for 3. 3-0 the count. Rays starting the day 3rd in the American League East. New York up on Baltimore by 4 and 5.5 in front of the Rays. That's a strike. 3-1. And ball 4 is low.
Yeah.
So Moustakas draws the walk.
How about some respect right there from Matt Moore after that home run in the first at-bat? Here we are in a 3-1 count, and Matt Moore drops the changeup, left-on-left changeup to Moustakas.
That's what 409 does.
That's exactly right.
409-foot home run in the first inning. Now a move to first, down to second base, and that will retire the side. Moustakas caught stealing, picked off first. And that ends the third. A run scores on the home run by Escobar. 2-0 Kansas City.
Here in Kansas City, the Royals lead the Rays 2-0. Today's game, and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida.
Rays are facing the 28-year-old lefty Everett Teaford. They'll have Carlos Pena, Jeff Keppinger, and then Brooks Conrad coming up in the fourth inning. The opening game of the homestand tomorrow night will feature James Shields looking for his 8th win. Shields 7-4 against Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer is 6-5. David Price pitches on Friday night against Justin Verlander. Price will be after win number 11, coming in 10-4. Verlander 8-4. So here's Carlos Pena. Carlos popped out to the shortstop his first time. The ball actually popped to the right side of the infield, halfway between first and second, but Escobar on the shift made the catch. And the pitch is fouled away. Today's AT&T trivia question: since 1900, how many qualifying rookie pitchers have averaged more than a strikeout per inning? And the pitch fouled back, 0-2. Well, the Rays dropped last night's game 8-2. They had 5 hits. Shut out here on Monday on 7 hits. The Rays have hit just .220 in the first 8 games on this road trip. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They've scored 27 runs in 8 games on this road trip. Right now, 3-5. Pena's out on strikes.
And the one thing that we've seen, especially in this Kansas City series, these pitchers are pounding the strike zone. And there are the offensive struggles, the numbers. You see the walks, 31 walks, only 2 walks in the last 2 games, both losses. The Royals here, Teaford attacking the zone. The walks have played such an important role in the Rays offense, not just this trip, but all series, all year long. And in the Rays' 3 wins on this trip, they've had to have walked at least 4 times in each game.
Pitch is down to Jeff Keppinger. Johnny O, a valued member of our crew, coming up with that graphic, and boy, he's right on.
Absolutely.
That tells the story on this road trip and what has happened recently with the offense, because the walk is a big part of the Rays offense, no question about that.
And these guys, the Royals pitchers, have just been filling up that strike zone, putting these Ray hitters on the defensive.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena out on strikes, and Keppinger behind in the count, 1-2. Little tap back to the mound. Teaford makes the throw to first, and Keppinger is out of there. 2 up, 2 down. And through it all, the Rays continue to play a man short, with Joel Peralta serving his 8-game suspension. Played short now. This would be the 6th game with 24 men on their roster. Here's Brooks Conrad. Conrad takes a strike. Fastball. Pitch is low, 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes.
That's
out in front.
And that's one of the byproducts of throwing a lot of strikes and throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. You can expand the zone. You get Brooks Conrad to chase that pitch. That's down.
2-2.
And how many times do we reference guys with their batting averages? After 0-1, 180, after 1-0, 290. There's a reason for it.
And a little piece of that one. Pitch moving away from the right-handed bat of Brooks here against the lefty.
That's what we saw Bruce Chen do last night. Not only good with the first pitch strikes at 20 out of 27, but 72 out of 99 pitches total strikes just coming right after you.
And we have a full count. 2 outs, bases empty. Ball game in the top of the 4th. A couple of solo home runs right now, the difference in this game. It's pulled foul. And ball 4 inside. The Rays have a 2-out walk. Cleveland has taken a 3-2 lead on the Yankees in New York. That game's in the bottom of the 6th inning. We had heard earlier that CC Sabathia was going to go on the disabled list with a groin injury, and Andy Pettit leaves his start with a leg injury. Here's Zobrist lifting a pop-up foul ball. Moustakas and Perez after it, and the ball's going to be out of play. So Pettit leaves that game, and Sabathia goes on the DL with a record of 9-3 with a groin strain today.
And groin strains, especially that left groin on a left-handed pitcher, that's your push-off leg. I've done that. It is not fun. Very painful, and you got to make sure that that's 100% before you even attempt a comeback.
This pitch drops in there. 8 out of 13 first pitch strikes for Everett Teaford, and he's ahead of Zobrist 0-2. Rays getting their first look ever at Teaford. And Zobrist is out on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning. No runs, a walk, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-0 Kansas City. Of the 4th inning. Our AT&T trivia question, a sneak preview there as we look for the answer. Since 1900, how many qualifying rookie pitchers have averaged more than a strikeout per inning? The answer to that is 7. We have instances of that going on this year. We're looking at one of them. The first pitch to Billy Butler is a strike. Yu Darvish with Texas, 10 strikeouts for 9 innings, and Matt Moore with 9.5 strikeouts every 9 innings. A tap now on its way to short. Elliott Johnson up with it, and Butler is out of there. 1 away. Well, let's check in with Todd Callis now.
Website Wednesday, we've already had questions from England, Belgium, and also Matt Moore's hometown, Moriarty, New Mexico. But this question, guys, is about the rotation. Why did the Rays decide to skip Alex Cobb and use the bullpen instead of keeping him on his normal turn and use the bullpen at a later date? Back to you.
Well, here's Jeff Francoeur swinging and missing. Strike 1, missed the fastball. Well, Joe Madden and Jim Hickey had a choice. They were going to be shorthanded somewhere in the rotation process, and they decided to bite the bullet early as opposed to postpone it. There's a base hit line just out of the reach of Pena. So Francoeur is aboard, and that will be hit number 4 allowed by Moore.
Just a breaking ball that Francoeur tried to follow down and just put a good swing on. Sometimes you're following that breaking ball down, you're not sure where it's going to end up, and you see he goes down and just shoots that ball. to right field outside of the dive of Carlos Pena.
So the Rays, facing that day-night doubleheader, decided to go with the combination of pitchers in the second game, and it worked out well to the point where the Rays won that day-night doubleheader from the Phillies. Eric Hosmer and Ramos, Davis, Gomes, and Howell combining. And Ramos, Davis, and Gomes all pitching 2 2/3. There is a base hit just off the glove of Johnson. Johnson shaded to his left, had to go back to his right. Francoeur moves to second, and Hosmer's aboard with a single.
Now we saw the shift, or not really the shift, but pulled around a little bit on Francoeur. He shoots it the other way on a breaking ball. And then here Hosmer gets a pitch. You see Elliot Johnson right in the corner of your screen. He's pulled up the middle, just not able to get to that ball off the bat of Hosmer. So a couple of hits here for the Royals with 1 out in the 4th.
Now here's Perez. 2 men on, 1 away. And the pitch, Perez takes a strike. He lined to the shortstop, Elliot Johnson, his first time. Perez just back active. Just returned from a rehab assignment. He'd missed the entire season. He had to have surgery to repair a torn meniscus on his left knee. And the Royals are very high on him. In fact, in his major league debut in a game against the Rays, we saw him pick off 2 base runners. And the Royals really liked the upside in Salvador Perez. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
Boy, that fastball up there by Moore, a little bit tardy on the swing by Perez. Watch him blow this right by him.
Perez just 22 years old. The tap to short. Johnson with the toss to Rodriguez over to first. Out there as Pena managed to keep his foot on the bag to complete that double play. No runs, 2 hits, and a man left. We're at the end of 4. It's 2-0 Kansas City.
Inning here at Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals have a 2-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Rays.
It's time for the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. Take a look at what Fernando Rodney has meant to the Rays this year. and impressive numbers in almost every category. Just as the Rays can count on Fernando Rodney, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. Sean Rodriguez taking the pitch down. We had that question the other night about David Price and Fernando Rodney. Should they be a part of the American League All-Star team that will be coming here to Kansas City in July? And the answer to that would be a resounding yes. 3-0. Fernando Rodney has been as good as anybody could be in that closer's role. And David Price, the first pitcher in the American League to hit double figures in wins. There's a strike. And Price will be pitching at Tropicana Field against Justin Verlander Friday night. That's a great pitching matchup right there. Sean Rodriguez draws the walk.
Let's take a look at today's text poll question brought to you by Autoway. He's ninth inning guy when Kyle Farnsworth returns. TB1, Fernando Rodney. TB2, Kyle Farnsworth. Or TB3, they will split duties or should split duties. Text 789-789 to submit your vote. Standard message and data rates will always apply.
Over to first base and back in is Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez almost picked off first in the second inning by the catcher Perez. Out of play, strike one on that foul.
The Rays trying to create something here. Desmond Jennings comes up after a leadoff walk to Sean Rodriguez. Haven't had too many of those in this series. So let's see if the Rays can capitalize. It's starting to move into the later innings, fifth inning. Time to get something going.
Desmond fouls this one back. 2 strikes. Desmond struck out. He missed a slider his first time. And he bounces it over the mound. That's backhanded by Betancourt, and the glove flip, but they fail to connect as Betancourt tried to flip it backhanded with his glove to Escobar, and everybody is safe.
Well, now you got a real opportunity here with 2 runners aboard and nobody out. This ball chopped up the middle. Good job by Betancourt of getting there, but then the flip to Escobar, he's going to have to barehand that. Couldn't do it.
So that goes as an infield hit. Rodriguez safely in at second. Jennings with an infield hit at first. Jose Molina will bat. Molina has one of the 3 hits for the Rays. The pitch is down and in. Yankees have taken a 4-3 lead on Cleveland. Cleveland hitting in the top of the 7th, 4-3 New York. And Boston leads Toronto 9-2 in the top of the 5th at Fenway. It's John Lester on the hill for Boston. Ground ball to short. Escobar, Betancourt 1, first base 2. So the double play off the bat of Jose Molina. 6-4-3. Sean Rodriguez goes to third.
Well, Tiford needed to make a pitch in this situation, and he did. He gets his ball in on Molina, and this is about as routine as it gets as far as double plays go, and gets Molina by plenty.
Yeah, Betancourt had plenty of time to complete that double play and made sure that he did. So now Rodriguez is the lone runner at third. Elliott Johnson swings over the pitch. Strike one. fouled straight back, 0-2. Rays come in hitting .234 as a club, and it has been a challenge on this road trip to score runs. Down 2-0 facing Everett Tiford right now. There has been some potential good news on the horizon, however, with the possibility that Luke Scott could be activated during the Detroit series. Down to third, Moustakas has it, and the throw to first. Elliott Johnson is out of there. No runs, a hit, and a man left. Bottom of the fifth coming, 2-0 Kansas City. By your local Southern Ford dealers and by Subway restaurants. Play hard, eat fresh. It's a hot day in Kansas City. The temperature at game time 98. Forecast calls for the temperature to hit at least 100 degrees today. And we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Matt Moore, young hard-throwing lefty out there. Bourgeois, the center fielder, leads it off, and he takes the pitch too low. 1 ball, no strikes. Jason Bourgeois, 1-1. It's a little high. Ball just up from Omaha. Moore is behind him 3-1. And ball 4 is high. So Bourgeois, who is hitting only .205 in 40 games at Omaha, draws a walk to lead off the fifth. We'll check in with Todd.
More on website Wednesday, Dwayne. We have Drew via Twitter and Caitlin on email about is Caitlin wondering if he was going to go on a rehab assignment. To Matt today, he said when the Rays go back to Tropicana Field, probably on Friday, he's going to try swings. From there, you go to the tee, flips, and then live batting practice. And at that point, they'll determine whether or not he'll need a rehab assignment. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you for the update. Bourgeois, the runner over there at first base. The hitter is Alcides Escobar, who belted a home run in the third. He now has 80 hits on the year, and he leads Kansas City in total hits. How about that? He's their number 9 hitter, and he leads the team in hits with 80.
Sandbagging. Trying to hide him down there. Stolen bases, too.
And a liner up the left side. That's headed toward the corner. 2 hops into the bottom of the wall. Picked up by Jennings. It's going to be a double with Bourgeois stopping at third. And Escobar is in with his 19th double of the year. And now a major threat underway here by Kansas City.
Well, Matt Moore, the command a little shaky here in the 5th. The leadoff walk, and then look where that changeup is. Up and out over the plate. Escobar not fooled at all. Stays right on it. Laces that ball down into the corner, and the Royals threatening again here, 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
Well, it'll be the top of the order now, and here's Gordon. 0 for 2. The pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Gordon getting time granted by Tony Randazzo. Gordon, coming into this game over the last couple of weeks, has hit over 380. Came into the game hitting 271 for the year. And that hot streak has coincided with him moving into the leadoff spot. Fouls the fastball right back out of play. 1-1 the count.
You know, it's not unlike what Joe Madden has done with the lineup when he moved Carlos Pena up to the leadoff spot, trying to jumpstart him, but Carlos had the good on-base percentage, and so you're just looking for a guy to be able to get on base and get the pitcher into the stretch, and that's what's happened here with Alex Gordon, and he has responded.
Fastball by him, 1-2.
Now if you're Matt Moore, you need that strikeout. 2nd and 3rd, the Rays are going to pull the infield in.
And a cut and a miss. Went up with the fastball to get him. Well, that's exactly what he needed in that situation. 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. He strikes out Gordon.
Well, he goes up again. The fastball, the previous pitch, he got him to swing through a ball up, and look at that. He takes it just a little bit higher. Gets him to go out of the zone and still can't catch up.
Now here's Yuniesky Betancourt. He struck him out on a fastball in the 1st inning. 3 fastballs by him. Popped him up on a fastball in the 3rd. And the pitch is in there. A strike call to start him here in the 5th inning. Infield close. Upstairs, it's 1-1. Through 4 innings, Moore had made just 47 pitches. It's 12 pitches into the 5th inning right now on this warm Kansas City day. And a chopper that's going to go through the infield. Into left. Bourgeois scores. Escobar is going to score. And into second base goes Betancourt. 2 more runs score for Kansas City. It's 4-0.
Well, Betancourt taking advantage of the conditions here. Hot, dry day. Chops that ball into the ground. Is able to get it over the head of Conrad. And then all of a sudden, you're going to send Escobar. The throw here by Jennings is low. They let it go through, and by doing that, you allow Betancourt to move up to second base.
So Betancourt picks up a couple of runs batted in on the single. Moved to second on the throw. There's Moustakas. Pitch around his knees. 1 ball, no strikes. Moustakas has homered and walked. Strike at the knees. 1-1. And a breaking ball in there to Moustakas. Fouls it back. Fastball in the mid-90s. It's 1-2. Couple of solo home runs and then the chopping base hit through the left side, driving in 2, accounting for the 4 Kansas City runs. Still a ball, 2 strikes to count to Moustakas. This started with a leadoff walk to Bourgeois.
Well, that's been the story of this series. An opportunity for the Royals, they've cashed in. The Rays, the previous inning, had a leadoff walk, nothing.
Little tap up the right side, foul. Well, the Rays in this series 0 for 15 with men in scoring position. The Royals 9 out of 19 with men in scoring position.
And that's next on the list. Once again, opportunities, Royals cash in, Rays have not. Very simple.
Moustakas lifts the fly ball toward Jennings at left. Desmond is there to make the catch. It's the second out. Betancourt still at second base. And Billy Butler heads to the plate.
Well, they even got a pitch to him. There we go.
Butler, the DH. And he drives it into right field. Zobrist backing up for it a few steps. Is there and makes the catch. That retires the side. 2-run score. We're through 5. 4-0 Kansas City. The 6th inning. Summer certainly is heating up, and the Rays have a 6-pack ticket offer just for you. The Rays Summer Select 6-pack enables you to select the seats you want for the games you want to attend in June, July, and August, and start at just $48. Visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Now the Rays set to get their third look at Everett Tieford today. He's gone through the lineup twice and has limited the Rays to just 3 hits. No runs, a couple of walks. And here's BJ to open the 6th. Upton with a fly ball to center field and a double play ball started by the second baseman Betancourt in the 3rd. 1 ball, no strikes. It's hit 100 degrees here. Feels like it's 106. Three balls, no strikes. Pena next. And BJ draws a walk. So the Rays, for the second straight inning, put the leadoff man on base via the walk.
And just for the team's own mental health, they need to do something here. I mean, the Royals have jumped out early in this game. They've continued to add on. The Rays had a leadoff walk last inning, for actually first and second with nobody out, and got nothing. Here you get another leadoff walk, your 3rd time through the lineup. You need desperately to get something done here.
So here's Carlos Pena.
Eventually.
Pena has popped to short. It's struck out. The pitch is a strike. Action in the bullpen now for Kansas City. Kelvin Herrera is up throwing. 0-2. Carlos Pena back in there. And he takes one inside. Runner at first. Nobody out. It's a ball and 2 strikes the count here to Pena. That's down. 2-2. We're 7-0 for Kansas City, 0-3-0 for the Rays. Bouncer, that's a foul ball, holding the count at 2-2. New York batting in the bottom of the 8th, leading Cleveland 4-3. Blue Jays with a couple runs in the 6th, but they still trail Boston 10-4 in the bottom of the 6th. Encarnacion and Bautista have hit home runs for the Blue Jays. Ortiz hitting one out for Boston. Full count now to Pena. Rays still trying to get on the board here in Kansas City. They're down. Carlos fouls this one down toward the far end of the Kansas City dugout.
He would absolutely love Carlos Pena to find his way onto the base here after being down 0-2, get to first base somehow. And Keppinger and Conrad coming up next.
Well, the Royals have 5 shutout innings from Everett Teaford. Pena hits it on the ground, and that's going to go through against the shift. A base hit. Upton will go to third, and the Rays do put a little something up here against Teaford. The 8th pitch of the at-bat, and Pena singles into center field.
Just trying to put that ball in play, and with the shift, he's able to squeeze it in the hole right there. BJ off and running, ball on the ground. He's going to get over to third base, and that may do it for Teaford.
And Yost halfway to the mound already from the Kansas City dugout. Teaford pitches 5 innings plus 2 men here in the 6th inning. Pitching change coming, back in a moment.
The board trailing this game 4-0. Well, this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. It will take place right in this stadium, Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City.
Well, Teaford is gone after 5 innings plus, 89 pitches. He leaves with a couple men on base, no runs so far.
Now right there, 3 walks. Did a nice job at the Rays creeping up towards that 4-walk minimum. Trying to get something going here, first and third.
Kelvin Herrera is the new pitcher with Jeff Keppinger in here against Herrera, who can get the ball up there in a hurry. And the pitch is outside. That first pitch, 99. That's getting it up there in a hurry.
Well, this bullpen for Kansas City, they've got some guys that will roll out with some flames. Come in with the big velocity and be much bigger than that.
It's upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. The hard stuff in the upper 90s. Also has a changeup in the mid 80s. There's a fastball for a strike. It's 2-1. So the Rays had men at first and second in the 5th inning, and Molina grounded into a double play. First and third now with nobody out here in the 6th. The count goes to 3-1. And a little looper into center. That's a base hit off the fastball. And the Rays are on the board. B.J. Upton scores. A base hit and a run batted in, number 12 for Keppinger. And now it's 4-1. Pena advanced, stopped at second base.
Keep falling behind. Jeff Keppinger does not try to get overly aggressive, even though the count was 3-1. He just soft serves that into center field. That gets the Rays on the board. Now you still have runners at first and second, nobody out, and you get the feeling that the Rays got to get something going here.
Well, they've got a couple of switch hitters here with Conrad and Zobrist due up.
Both of them can handle the fastball. That's what Herrera features. Most prominent pitch. We've seen the big velocity. Crooked number.
And the pitch is outside. That base hit by Keppinger's the first hit the Rays have had in this series with a man in scoring position. They're 1 for 16 now. Keppinger driving in Upton from third. Little tap to the right side. Betancourt goes to Escobar, and his throw to first in time. Pena advances to third. The double play off the bat of Conrad makes it 2 outs with a man at third and a run home.
Well, here it is. He just rolls over this offering from Herrera, and it becomes a very easy turn for the Royals defense. That hurts.
Well, the Rays thought they might have something going there. Run home with a couple of men on, and that double play ball for the second straight inning hurts the Rays' chances. Here's Ben Zobrist. He pops one foul, headed for the seats down the left field side for a strike. Ben doubled in the second inning, struck out swinging in the fourth. Fastball too high. 1-1. Herrera last worked 4 days ago in relief in their series against the Cardinals. Ground ball punched through the middle. There's a base hit into center. That will score Pena. And now it's 4-2. So the Rays come up with a couple of RBI base hits here. 29th run batted in on the year for Zobrist.
Well, nice job there by Ben, just pulling the hands through. Again, using the middle of the field, much like Jeff Keppinger. Able to get this outside of the reach of Betancourt. Well, he's cut the lead in half.
Both those runs charged to Teaford. Runner takes off. The pitch is high, and the throw is in time. Zobrist caught stealing. Perez guns him down. That will retire the side. The Rays come up with 2, and now it's 4-2. Scoring in the first on home run by Mike Moustakas. Got another one from Alcides Escobar in the third inning. 2 more runs scored in the fifth when Yuniesky Betancourt's single scored Bourgeois and Escobar. The Rays got on the board in the top of the sixth. Upton scoring on a base hit by Keppinger, and Ben Zobrist singled home Carlos Pena. And it's 4-2 as we move into the bottom of the sixth inning here in Kansas City. 67 pitches for Matt Moore through 5 innings. Here's the line on Matt. There's 4 runs, 2 coming on the solo home runs. He'll face Jeff Francoeur to open the bottom of the sixth. The pitch is a strike. Francoeur, Hosmer, and then Perez do. Pitch popped up left side. Conrad into foul territory. With the glasses down, and he makes the catch for the first out. 1 out in the sixth inning, and once again, here's Todd Callis.
Dwayne, the Rays are going to be wearing these old school uniforms on Saturday, turn back the clock day. This is the Joe Madden variety right here. They're going to be playing the Tigers. We also have the cap. This is the uniform and the hat they would imagine the Rays would have if they played back in the 70s. In addition to that game on Saturday, wearing these unis against the Tigers, there will be a post-game concert, part of the summer concert series, featuring Philip Bailey and Earth, Wind & Fire, Reason, Shining Star, September, After the Love Is Gone. All those hits, we saw them last year. Ruth Eckerd Hall, 60 years of age last year, still puts on a great show. Back to you, Dwayne.
Yeah, it certainly did, and Todd Callis looking forward to that night. Like all of us, big fans of Earth, Wind & Fire. Rodriguez takes care of Eric Hosmer. 2 gone. Todd, big plans to celebrate the return of Earth, Wind & Fire to the Tampa Bay area. That's an outing you don't want to miss at Tropicana Field.
Todd and friends.
Mm-hmm. I mean, friends.
And capital S.
Yes. There's Perez, Salvador Perez, and that pitch to him is a strike. Fouls it away, out of play. The pitch in on him. 0-2. Greg Holland busy in the bullpen now for Kansas City. And the 0-2. Perez fouls this one away. Rays with a couple of runs in the sixth. So now they trail by only 2. Matt Moore trying to keep the Royals in check. Cleveland batting in the ninth, trailing New York 5-3. 1-2.
Boy, New York has just slammed the foot down on the gas pedal.
Put together another little winning streak, trying to win their 5th in a row today. Fly ball right field. Zobrist back toward the corner. It's going to be over his head. One hops the wall, and into second base goes Perez head first with a 2-base hit.
Now, off the bat, I thought that Ben Zobrist was going to have a shot at this, but that ball just continued to carry. Off the bat of Perez, he had to really extend his arms early. That sometimes kills a lot of the power. But he's strong enough, and that ball carried enough, gets over the head, and he gets into second base. A 2-out double.
Jason Bourgeois is going to be the hitter now, and it really was the walk to Bourgeois that has hurt the Rays today. You might give up a home run to Moustakas and Escobar. And Bourgeois, who was hitting just 200 at Omaha, rejoined their team today, hitting 8th, walked to open the 5th, and that led to 2 runs. 1-0 the count. This one is fouled away, and the count is 1-1.
Yeah, you can live with the solo home runs. You've got Matt Moore, he's going to attack guys because he's got the big fastball, so you'll give up some of those. But the leadoff walks, a lot of times those come back to haunt you.
So Burke Badenhop loosening in the Rays bullpen. It's fouled into the screen. It's 1-2. Matt Moore coming off his 5-inning stint against Washington. He made 93 pitches in the 5 innings. And a no decision in that game. Now it's 2-2. Matt hoping to get to the 500 mark with a win today, coming in 4-5, and he trails by 2 right now. He's won his last 3 decisions, 1 over Baltimore and 2 over Miami. Chop right side. That's a foul ball out of the reach of Pena. And fortunately for the Rays, foul. Because if that ball is fair, it's still going to bounce over the outstretched mitt of Carlos Pena.
And Bourgeois is probably at second base.
Yep.
At the very least, the Royals have played it a run. When he leaned out after that pitch to try to get after it. I'd like to see Matt Moore feels good with that glove side fastball. This is where you have it set up to absolutely close this at bat off in this count with the fastball in right here. Be done with it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And he reaches out and shoots it into right. 1 hop, a base hit. Perez will be held at third. Now a runner going to second, and Bourgeois is out there as Pena comes up with the ball. And a toss back to Johnson, who put the tag on him to retire the side. A base hit to right field, and Pena cuts it off and comes back to second to get the third out. 4-2 Kansas City. The Rays coming in to hit in the 7th inning. And the Royals will call upon their 3rd pitcher of the game. Don't forget, Rays Live presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers.
Now you're going to get a preview of the Detroit series. Interview with James Shields. And VA's breakdown. Always a lot of fun. For me.
Hey, we'll be home, too.
That's right. Well, that's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Here's Greg Holland, the new pitcher for Kansas City. 5+ for Teaford, and Herrera got credit for a full inning, gave up a couple of hits. Rays scored 2 runs in the 6th, both charged to Teaford, and now Greg Holland is on for the 28th time. Rod Dyson is in the game in center field. And Sean Rodriguez will open the 7th. Goes after the first one and skies it, a pop-up on the infield. Moustakas in from third, edge of the mound, and he makes the catch. So 1 out against Holland.
Greg Holland's going to come at you with the fastball, the slider, curveball. Left-handed hitters, if he sees any of those, they'll see the split.
Desmond Jennings takes the pitch inside. Last couple games, Joe Madden has dropped Desmond out of the leadoff spot, hitting 7th again today. And an infield hit his last time. And the count is 2-0. So it's a 3-ball, no strike count. Desmond had said he feels as though he's been missing some pitches that he should have been hitting, and Madden just wanted to take a little of the spotlight away from him and put him down in the order. 3-1 right now.
Well, I think we've seen that too in Desmond Jennings' swings. Haven't been as free and easy as earlier in the year.
He lifts a fly ball toward right center field. That's got a chance to drop and will. Backhanded by Francoeur, and Desmond's on his way to second with the double. So after the infield hit in the 5th inning, a 2-base hit here in the 7th.
Now the ball just continues to carry here. Here's the pitch. Desmond goes down and gets it. Looked to be just a fly ball into right center field, but it just kept going, kept going. It splits the outfielders. And the Rays with another opportunity here in the 7th.
So Holland now will face Jose Molina. Molina takes it low. Holland's another one of these guys from their bullpen, can get it up there in a hurry. He's pretty easily 95, 96 with breaking stuff. And time called. How about this breakout for Greg Holland so far this year?
You know, the game breakout pretty even. The ERA, not so much.
Pitch down and in. Holland, one of those guys who, at least this year, is wishing that the road could go on forever.
Yeah. That ERA approaching 7. A little command issue here to Molina after falling behind Desmond Jennings and giving up the double. Rays making some noise late.
2-0 the count to Molina. And Holland misses. Ball 3. The Rays got a couple of base hits in the 6th inning off the hard-throwing right-hander Herrera. That scored a couple, made it 4-2. Now they're trying to build an inning here in the 7th against Holland. There goes Jennings headed to third. Ball 4 to Molina. So Molina walks on 4 pitches. And it's 1st and 3rd for Elliott Johnson, and Dave Island, the pitching coach here in Kansas City, will head to the mound.
take a look at Fox Tracks on where those pitches were. Not really close at all. And I'll tell you what, I mean, again, you go back to the Rays, their success. When pitchers nibble, they don't command the baseball in the strike zone. That's when the Rays offense seems to come to life. And here, as we've moved into the latter stages of this ball game, that's what's happened. And guess what? The Rays have cut the lead in half, are threatening again.
Yeah, the Rays take advantage of walks better than anybody else. That's an important part of their on-base percentage. Tim Collins, the left-hander, is now up in the Royals bullpen. And Elliott Johnson gets a chance to hit from the left side here. 1 ball and no strikes. As Elliott had struck out and grounded out against the left-hander Tiefert. And Elliott from the left side is hitting .343, from the right side .156. And the pitch is in there for a strike. So the Royals may have wanted Collins to be up a little earlier and keep Johnson on the right side of the plate.
Not to be.
1-1 the count. And a shot up the right side, going to be fouled. He made a bid for an extra base hit just a little early on that one. And the count goes to 1-2.
Oh, quick recognition of that breaking ball by Elliott. He gets things started. And just a little bit too soon.
And a swing and a miss. Johnson is out on strikes. Big strikeout right there for Holland.
Well, and that was the split. He doesn't use it against the right-handed hitters very rarely. He likes it against the lefties, and here it is. Look at that ball just bottom out, and he gets the chase swing.
Now it's B.J. Upton. Two outs with 2 men on. And the fastball is too high.
Are you sure?
Upton walked in the 6th and scored. 0 for 2. Two balls, no strikes. BJ with a couple plate appearances against Holland in his career. 0 for 1 with a walk. And a foul ball right back into the screen. 2-1. For 2 ball game. Rays have been out hit 9-7, and they trail by 2. And a strike on the outside part of the plate. A breaking pitch in there.
Now, this was a nasty breaking ball here. That tight slider right to the outside corner. The last couple of pitches, pretty good by Holland.
Jennings at third. Molina's at first. 2-2 the count to B.J. Upton. And he takes it close for ball 3. And the count is full.
Well, that looked really close, but Perez, watch him have to reach back for it. Just in off.
3-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Upton thought it was wide. He's out of there. We're in the middle of the 7th now. It's 4-2 Kansas City.
By authority of the Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
4-2, Kansas City leading. The Royals are coming in to hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rays leaving a couple men on in the top. So Matt Moore trying to keep this Kansas City club in check one more inning. The Rays have 2 shots left. Now Cedes Escobar, who's been impressive here in this series, will lead it off for the Royals. The first pitch is a strike. There's a strike. 0-2.
Well, we've seen that curveball from Matt Moore really start to come of age in his last couple of starts here, back to back, to get ahead in the 7th.
And he pops it foul out of play, holding the count at 2 strikes. Well, Escobar, with his average now at .313, is the best average of any shortstop playing every day. He checks on that pitch. Derek Jeter opened the day with more hits than anybody in the American League at 95, but Escobar has the best average at .313.
He does hold up on that pitch.
One-two, a little bit in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a ground ball by the mound through into center. Escobar has his 3rd hit of the day, a leadoff single. With Escobar at first, let's go to Todd Callis.
All right, Dwayne, speaking of shortstops, we go back to website Wednesday, and we have Donna on an email and both Ernesto and Glenn via Twitter. Want to know what the latest is with Reed Brignac. Reed got off to a slow start with both the Rays and the Durham Bulls after being sent down, but lately it's been better. In fact, you see over his last 8 games hitting .375, 8 runs batted in, 7 runs scored. 3 doubles and a home run, now up to 216 on the year with 5 home runs. The Rays just looking for more offensive consistency from Reed, and if that happens, he could be a factor once again in their plans. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Escobar at first with Alex Gordon in the batter's box. It's 10 hits for Kansas City. They've drawn a couple of walks and have 4 runs total. Gordon's 0 for 3. Yeah, there was never any question about Grindiak's ability to play shortstop. The Rays have to see some offense from him and an offensive approach. The process of his offense may be as important as this latest hot spell. If the approach is better, I think the Rays will have a little more confidence that it's something that could be prolonged. But if it's the same approach got him sent back to the minor leagues.
It's not sustainable. It's not. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that's a case where you have to look past the numbers.
Ground ball to second. Rodriguez to Johnson. That's 1, and the throw to first for 2. 4-6-3 on the double play ball off the bat of Alex Gordon.
Well, that's how you do it. That leadoff base hit, and Matt Moore comes right back. 2 for the price of 1 here. Rodriguez over to Johnson. Love that.
Now the Yankees have beaten Cleveland. That's a 5-4 final. Pitch outside to Yuniesky Betancourt. 1-0. So the Yankees have won 5 in a row. Their 46th win of the year comes today at home over Cleveland. The count is a ball and a strike now to Betancourt. Red Sox also win their game 10-4 at home over Toronto. That's a foul ball back. And it's 1-2. Rays started the day 5.5 back. Right now they're 6 back. And Boston 6.5 right now. Base is empty here with 2 gone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Betancourt's the difference in this game right now as he takes ball 2. He got the chopper, the base hit that got through in the 5th inning, and that chased home 2 runs after the leadoff walk to Bourgeois. This one is down, and the count is full. And a cut and a miss. That takes care of Betancourt. Out on strikes for the 2nd time today. No runs, a hit. Double play and nobody left. We're through 7. It's 4-2 Kansas City. To the 8th inning. Rays will have Pena, Keppinger, and Conrad due up. Word out of the Bronx, as we mentioned earlier, CC Sabathia placed on the DL with a left groin strain. Andy Pettit leaving his start early today with a fractured ankle. He's expected to miss at least 6 weeks. So Sabathia goes on the DL, and Pettit likewise with the fractured ankle. That as the Yankees have won their 5th in a row, and they built a 4.5 lead over Baltimore. Right now 6 over the Rays, 6.5 on Boston, and 8.5 in front of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ironically enough, you know how the broken ankle, left push-off ankle from Andy Pettit, line drive by former Ray Casey Kochman.
Well,
that's what got him.
So both Sabathia and Pettit sidelined. Rays will be seeing the Yankees on this next homestand. Tigers in for 4, and then the Yankees for 3. It's Tim Collins on for the 34th time for Kansas City here against Carlos Pena. And the pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Carlos singled in the 6th inning and scored a run. Takes this one off the plate. Two balls, no strikes. Carlos started the day 2nd in the league in walks with 52. Rays lead the league in walks. 13th in team average, but they were 8th in on-base percentage as a team due to all the walks they draw. And it's 2-1 now, the count to Pena. Pena has 52 walks and Zobrist has 50. Upstairs. 3-1. Seifert for 5 innings. The Rays got 2 runs off him. Herrera came on with 2 men on, and those runs scored. Herrera officially worked a scoreless inning. Holland worked a scoreless inning. And now it's the lefty. And a hot shot liner fouled into the seats. Three balls, 2 strikes. Keppinger will be next. Full count to Pena. And a ground ball back at first, and it stays down, skips away from Hosmer, and the recovery on that ball. Boy, George Hendrick involved in all the action as well over there. And Pena is aboard. They're going to talk it over here. The plate umpire, Tony Randazzo, and Brian Gorman to see if Gorman is okay. Boy, Gorman took a deflected shot there, and Hendrick trying to get out of the way. Let's see if Brian Gorman's okay.
Wiping a little bit of blood off the face there. Here's the shot by Pena up the line. Eric Hosmer could have saved everybody the hassle if he's able to come up with it. But that ball off the heel of the glove hits Brian Gorman right in the face. And then this throw just about gets Carlos Pena on the return. It was set up perfectly, close to the line. And boy, oh boy. Right off the nose, looked like.
Will be an error charge to Hosmer, and they attend to Brian Gorman on the deflection. So there's Brian Gorman, here's the crew chief. He appears to be all right, and I'm going to guess that he's in search of a Band-Aid, and there's a good chance he'll be back.
Hey, he was still making the call.
Yeah.
Gamer.
Yeah, well, that's why he's a crew chief.
Fight doctor.
So Brian Gorman is back out and headed to his position, umpiring first base. He's the son of Tom Gorman. His dad pitched in the major leagues and then umpired in the major leagues. So an error charge to Hosmer, and here's Jeff Keppinger with Brian Gorman back in, and a slow breaking ball to Keppinger misses. 1 ball, no strikes. It's a strike. 1-1. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. It's Aaron Crow up in the bullpen. He pitched an inning last night and was impressive. The pitch is low, covered up by Perez. 3 balls and a strike to Keppinger. Brooks Conrad on deck. Herrera, Holland, and now Collins out of the bullpen for Kansas City. And ball 4 is high, and the first 2 men are aboard for the Rays again in this inning.
Well, here you go once again, an error and then a walk. And boy, you just get the feeling that this Kansas City Royal bullpen going to afford the Rays every opportunity to get back in this game.
The Royals talk about it on the mound now as Ned Yost looks over.
I better try to figure something out. Well, coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers, you're going to have Barry and Arestas in the Fox studio anchoring the coverage. Joe Madden in his press conference. You'll listen to what Joe has to say about this ball game, and Todd Callis will be running around gathering interviews from the clubhouse.
2 on, nobody out. Here's Conrad. He struck out, walked, and grounded into a double play. And a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch had him out in front. Strike 1. Collins with a changeup right there.
A little changeup there, and he had Conrad out in front. And again, that ball was up. That's where our man likes it.
Going to catch the corner. Conrad not happy about that. It runs the count to 0-2. Let's take a look at this pitch. Close out there on that corner. Close enough for a strike, said Tony Randazzo. Pena's at second. Keppinger's at first. Nobody out. Finn Zobrist on deck. 2 strikes the count to Conrad. And it's down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Conrad out of Arizona State. No batting gloves, but he gets after that dirt outside the batter's box and rubs that on his hands.
Gritty.
And he takes a pitch high.
See, he should have gone. He'd have been a perfect dirt bag.
Look at that. After it again.
And then go right to the pine tar. Just gravel on your hands and just go to whacking.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's going to be strike 3 call on the outside corner. Conrad not happy about that either.
Now, that one looked to be maybe even a little further off than that fastball. That fastball was awfully close. That changeup. Let's see where Fox Tracks has it. Well,
has it on the corner.
There you go.
So that's the first out. And here's Ben Zobrist. Ben is 2 out of 3 lifetime against Tim Collins. And he throws him a breaking ball, missing. 1 ball, no strikes. Rays got 2 runs in the 6th to cut the deficit in half. 2 men on now. Zobrist in the batter's box. Two and 0. Sean Rodriguez on deck. We have the right-hander Crow in the bullpen. And that's a strike. 2-1. Collins working over the corner. Got a couple of called strikes to Conrad away. Now 2-1 to Zobrist. And a liner up the right field side. That's a fair ball headed for the corner. This should tie the game. Pena scores. Keppinger heads to the plate. The throw, it's not going to be in time, and all the way to third goes Zobrist. This game is tied. Ben Zobrist takes one up the right field line and back into the corner, scoring both Pena and Keppinger, driving in his 2nd and 3rd runs of the game.
Well, you've had the feeling this since the 5th inning, 6th inning on. This Royals bullpen is going to afford the Rays an opportunity. They continue to fall behind, err, a walk, and then Ben Zobrist comes up big down into the corner. And not only do the 2 runs score to tie it, but Ben is able to get over to third base, and now the Rays got a great chance of taking the lead.
So the Rays with 2 runs home in the 8th. Zobrist at third. That's going to be it for Tim Collins. Ned Yost, the manager, out to make the pitching change. And we'll be back with the big right-hander in a moment. 2012 GMC Sierra. It's our best Sierra ever. By 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. And by Checkers. Feast on. So the Rays have tied this game here in Kansas City. Around and around we go. 4-4 ball game. Aaron Crow's going to be the new pitcher with Ben Zobrist at third base on a 2-run triple. Collins gone, Crow in, and Will Rhymes will pinch hit for Sean Rodriguez. Ground ball short, pulled in infield, and the throw to the plate is in time. Escobar to Perez, and Zobrist is cut down at the plate. So Rhymes on the first pitch hits it on the ground to the shortstop, who was pulled in.
Well, positioned perfectly. Look at that. One hop, up and throw. Zobrist coming hard. Perez blocks the plate, gets the tag down. Tries to sneak that leg in there, and you see the blocking of the plate. That right leg from Ben crumples up, not able to get through.
And now they're out taking a look at Perez, and boy, this would be a little scary for this Kansas City ball club. Perez had surgery on that left knee, and that has cost him the season until just prior to Friday night. He was reinstated from the DL. They're checking him to make sure he's all right.
Well, he throws it down, and watch the right leg of Ben Zobrist go right into it. That's what ended up blocking the plate. It was a good shot of it.
He had surgery on that. He had a torn meniscus in his left knee. And Zobrist, for the second time in this game, has been thrown out at the plate. He was out, got caught in a rundown, and eventually tagged out back in the second inning. And out short to the catcher here. Now a runner at first. Rhymes aboard with Desmond Jennings at the plate. Pitch down and away. So it's 4-4. Runner at first, 2 outs in the 8th. And that's ball 2, 2-0. Rays got 2 runs home in the 6th. They've scored 2 in the 8th. And a ground ball base hit through the hole. Rounding second, Rhymes. He'll stop there. Desmond Jennings has his 3rd hit.
Well, that's been Desmond Jennings' most aggressive swing this series. Had the count in his favor. He went right after this. Hammers that ball in the hole.
So the Rays have 2 men aboard now with 2 outs. Jose Molina is due. He'll be recalled for a pinch hitter. And Hideki Matsui will come out to bat against Aaron Crow. Crow pitched the 8th inning last night when he struck out Upton and Pena and got Keppinger on a fly ball to right. So now Molina's lifted. And Matsui will hit with men at first and second. Rays now have 9 hits. The pitch down and in, blocked by Perez. 1 ball, no strikes. Matsui was 1 for 4 last night. Singled off the left-hander Ueno in the 9th inning last night. He's on his way to Omaha. The pitch is a strike. It's 1-1. Rhymes the runner at second. And there's a strike. So that puts Crow ahead of Matsui. These relievers for the Royals have consistently been behind the Rays hitters. And now Crow is ahead 1-2 on Matsui. Into the dirt. Get blocked by Perez. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, Perez back behind the plate has been about as textbook as you can be with blocking those pitches. I mean, sliding every way, keeping the balls in front of him.
Only the second time Matsui has faced Aaron Crow. He struck out the other time and has worked the count to 2-2. And a pitch upstairs. Matsui checks and the count goes full. So with 2 outs and runners at first and second, this full count right here will free the runners. They'll be off with the pitch. A 3-2 count to Hideki Matsui. Crow delivers. And a swing and a miss. He got him. Threw him a slider to strike him out. Rays leave 2, but they score 2 on the triple by Ben Zobrist. Bottom of the 8th coming. We're tied 4-4.
Inning. The much talked about Zimbear has made it all the way through this road trip. His hat is a little askew, but we're going to keep him hydrated here. It's been a long trip for him, but on 2 days from now, just 2 days away, this Zimbear can be yours if you're one of the first 10,000 fans, not 14 and under, first 10,000 fans to go to the Tigers and the Rays and you'll get this, the much talked about Zimbear. Part of Friday Fest presented by Captain Morgan. This is presented by the Tampa Bay Times. 100 degrees, we're keeping Zimbear hydrated. Guys, back to you.
And in this 100-degree temperature, Matt Moore is going to go back to the mound for the Rays here to open the bottom of the 8th inning. With Mike Moustakas, Billy Butler, and Jeff Francoeur due up.
By the way, I love Callis's energy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now.
Yep. And he's got the backpack look going.
He does.
In the front.
They set that backpack on all game long, and then watch this. He wets the hair down. Always with wet hair. Always showing up with wet hair. Beautiful.
1-0 the count here to Moustakas. There's a strike. It's 1-1. And a popper left side. Conrad into foul territory from third, and that takes care of Moustakas. So they get Moustakas, who's been swinging a hot bat lately. Butler is due, and here comes Madden. So he had Moore come out to face the left-handed bat of Moustakas. And we're going to have a pitching change here. Matt Moore pitches 7 1/3. We'll be back with a new pitcher after this. Eighth with 1 out. Matt Moore got the first out, working 7 1/3 in this game, and leaves tied.
You know, Matt Moore, a couple of solo shots and a leadoff walk that hurt him, but other than that, threw the ball pretty well. And after giving up the first 2 hitters that came to bat in the bottom of the 5th scored, he's shut them down since then. That's allowed the Rays offense an opportunity. The Royals bullpen has afforded them that, and here we are in a tie game.
Well, Burke Badenhop comes on now. 98 pitches for Moore. And Billy Butler, 1 for 2 lifetime against Badenhop, bounces the first pitch foul. Badenhop comes into a game with a temperature reading 101 and the heat index at 105. It was 98 when we started this game. Bit wide. It's 1-1. 70 strikes for Moore in the 98 pitches he made today. 7 1/3. Two and 1 the count. Middle of this order. Butler was 1 for 4, had an RBI single last night, and went 1 for 4 on Monday. Hits a fly ball deep to left field. Jennings back, and that ball's going to get out of here. Home run over the 387 marker. Billy Butler hits his 15th home run of the year, and that makes it a 5-4 ball game. Third home run of the game for Kansas City. All 3 solo shots, and this one by Butler gives them the lead.
Well, here's the deal. We often talk about the count, and Billy Butler here was up in the count 2-1, but it was how he got there. A fastball, strike 1, and then 2 missed breaking balls. Billy Butler's saying, no way Badenhop's going 3 breaking balls in a row. He gets a mistake, and there you go.
And a breaking ball to Francoeur is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch is outside. 2-0. Two and one. Badenhop surrendering his 5th home run of the year. Fly ball, right side. Zobrist back for it. Is there and makes the catch. So Francoeur is out number 2. Eric Hosmer is due, and Joe Madden out of the dugout again and makes a trip to the mound. We'll be back in just a moment.
Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Well, fans, whether you're with family at home or with friends watching our telecast, you absolutely want to discuss, interact, and stay up to date with your favorite teams on Fox Sports Florida and Sun Sports. Like us on Facebook and become part of the game. Go to facebook.com/Fox Sports Florida Sun Sports.
Jake McGee will get the call here against the left-handed bat of Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is 1 for 3 as McGee comes on with very good numbers this year.
27 strikeouts and 24 in the 3rd innings just to go along with 6 walks. The command for Jake McGee has been very, very good. The opponent's average at 161. Also outstanding.
So the base is empty. Home run by Butler has given Kansas City a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. And a good crisp fastball on this hot day. 96, and that's in there for a strike. And a cut a foul ball back at 97. 0-2. How about this for McGee against lefties 225 and right-handers 106. He's been that good out of the Rays bullpen.
Well, you can bring him in to face anybody. This matchup here, that's where he can give you a good solid inning plus.
And he hits Hosmer. Hosmer hit by the 0-2 pitch.
Boy, as he tried to wheel out of the way, watch this ball get him. Right off the inside of that right elbow. Oof.
Hosmer being checked over down at first base. After being hit by a pitch. McGee got ahead of him, 2 strikes. Hosmer will stay on. And now McGee will face the right-handed bat of Salvador Perez. Perez doubled in the 6th. He is 1 for 3. Hosmer's back in. Rays have been out hit by 2, 11-9. They trail 5-4. Fly ball center field. Upton is there for it. That takes care of Kansas City, but they grab the lead on one swing of the bat from Billy Butler. We go to the 9th. The Rays are down 5-4.
A hoodie.
5-4. Kansas City leading on the strength of Butler's home run as we go into the 9th inning, and Jonathan Broxton going to be the new pitcher here for Kansas City. His job to close this one out, as he has done regularly for Kansas City this year.
Absolutely filling in for the injured Joakim Soria, and you see 18 out of 21 in the save department. ERA very good. 28 2/3 innings. Getting the job done for the Royals.
4th in saves in the American League. So it's Broxton, the 6th pitcher of the day. Kiefer worked 5. Herrera, Holland, Collins, Crow, and Broxton. Elliott Johnson will lead off against him. Broxton. Up 94, 95 with that fastball most of the time. And the pitch misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Not many matchups for the Rays against Broxton. Coming over to the American League now. And a foul ball takes the count to 1-1. Johnson, Upton, and Pena due up. Neither Johnson nor Upton have faced him. Pena spending some time with the Cubs over in the National League, was 0 for 1 with a walk against him. And a strike on the outside edge runs the count to 1-2.
A little backup slider here by Broxton. Just catching that outside corner.
Swing and a miss. Open fighting.
Now that was a nasty pitch there by Jonathan Broxton. They wanted to drop that slider under the bat, and he executes it flawlessly. Elliott Johnson trying to protect there. I think that's a ball in on the corner, and it's gone.
Here's Upton. Broxton has not been in a game in a week. Swing and a miss. Last time he worked was on the 20th against Houston. Swing and a foul ball, 0-2. Right now, Crow and Badenhop are the pitchers of record in the game in this 5-4 contest. Rays batting in the 9th. They scored 2 in the 8th to tie it, and they had Zobrist thrown out at the plate trying to score on a ground ball. The 0-2. BJ fouls it away.
Did that say 99?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you looked hard.
Yeah, he's consistently this year been 94, 95, and occasionally a little sun flare with the velocity.
Well, the ball's carrying off the bat, might as well carry out of the arm.
And that pitch is inside, 96 right there. It's 1-2. Still hasn't reached the temperature of 101. And it's a pop-up foul, going to carry out a play.
I like in these big pitch situations where Salvador Perez back there is very demonstrative on where he wants the ball. And you saw 2 pitches ago that fastball that ran up and in. Perez is giving his glove, tapping the ground. It really gives the pitcher a nice idea, a good visual. I want this down. It gets you thinking down. One ball, 2 strikes.
And Upton gets time granted by Tony Randazzo.
And they ran through all of them there. Every pitch to every spot before they finally agreed on one.
Pitch inside. 2-2. Two and two. That's down. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. BJ takes it down. He draws the walk, and the Rays have a base runner in the 9th inning. So good at bat for BJ to draw his 2nd walk of the day.
Laying off, you see with those pitches all over the zone, a lot of close ones. BJ works a walk, and
now Carlos Pena will be the hitter, who did see Braxton briefly over in the National League. Carlos has scored 2 of the 4 runs the Rays have in this game. First pitch is a strike. Fastball.
See that late sinking action, takes it right to that outside corner. Tough pitch there by Broxton.
Shift is on for Pena. Moustakas alone on the left side. Time granted again by Randazzo. Rays have been out hit 11-9, trailing 5-4. They have Upton, the potential tying run at first with 1 out in the 9th. And a ground ball right side. Betancourt, Escobar 1, first base 2. Out of the shift, they turn the double play, and this game is over. Upton out at second, Pena out at first. And the Rays drop this one 5-4 on an 8th inning home run by Billy Butler. Final pitch of the game, the double play ball thrown to Carlos Pena. Betancourt started it, and it's a 5-4